Okay, let's look at another past WASSCE question from the general maths exam. So it says the area of an island represented on a map of scale 1 to 100,000 is 32 centimeters squared. What would be its area on a map of scale 1 to 50,000? Okay, so before we start this one together, I want you to pause the video, try to do the problem yourself, and then you can unpause the video and we can do it together. You can see if you were able to get the right answer. So go ahead and pause the video. Okay, so let's come together again. So for this one, right, we have two different scales on the map, right? What this means is if we have 1 centimeter squared on the map, this would be the same as 100,000 centimeters squared in the real world, right? The same thing for this one. If we have 1 centimeter squared on the map, it would be 50,000 centimeters. Yeah, it would just be centimeters. We would have 50,000 centimeters in the real world. Okay, so first let's look at the difference between these two, right? So if we have, so this will tell us by how much we need to multiply or divide. So the first one is 1 to 100,000. The second one is 1 to 50,000, right? So if we were to divide these two, this will tell us the scale between them, right? What the ratio is between them. So 100,000 divided by 50,000, right? This is confusing to us. We can knock off these zeros. 100 divided by 50, or the same as 10 divided by 5. We should all see that that is 2, right? So this one is 2 times of this one. Okay, so what we're going to do, we have a factor of 2. Okay, we're going to multiply it, because if we have this one, each centimeter represents a bigger area in reality, so that means it will be smaller on the map, right? So this one will be smaller than this one. So that means when we go from this one to this one, we're going to get bigger, right? It's going to look bigger on the scale. So we're going to need to multiply by a factor of 2, okay? But we cannot just multiply by 2. This is what we're looking at for a length, okay? But we want to look at it from the area, right? That is what this one, the 32 centimeters squared, is an area. So to think of it, let's look at an area. Let's block off, I can show as an example. We want to find the area that is inside this one. We already know it is 32 centimeters squared. This is the area that is inside this one. So what that means is if we have some length on one side, let's call it x because we don't know it, times some length on the y direction, and we multiply them together, x times x, that will give us the 32. So that is what it looks like on the first map, okay? On the second map, right, we're going to have some area. So we already know it's a factor of 2, right? So what this means is one side times 2 times the other side that is also times 2. That will give us our new area, and that is what we want to find, right? So to be able to find this one in the middle, right, it would be this side, x times 2, times x times 2. This will give us our new area, right? So this is how we can think of it this way. So here, if we want to simplify this one, right, we have 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is what? Is 4. Times x will give us what? Will give us x squared. This is our new area that we want. Okay, so like I said, we don't know x, but we did know, we remember, from our initial one, x times x gave us the area of 32. So we don't know what x is, but we do know that x times x gives us 32, right? X times x gives us 32. So that means that x squared is x times x. this is 32. Okay, so to find our new area, this is all that we have to do. We take our initial area, 32, we multiply it by, not 2, but we multiply it by 4, right? Because again, the factor of 2 is talking about the length. But for area, we don't just look at the length, we need to look at the length times the width, or, right, whatever 2 dimensions we want to call it. But so that's why instead of just 2, we have 2 times 2, that gives us the 4, all right? So 4 times 32 will give us 64 times 2 will give us, I think it should be 128, right? So 128 is our area, but we want to make sure we remember the units, right? The units were centimeters and centimeters squared. So for area, we will get centimeters squared, right? So our final area will be 128 centimeters squared. We look at our answers. That looks like it is D, right? So D, 128 centimeters squared, will be the final answer.